Shalom, when they give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash, double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and salutations to all the Akim Math on the four constitution, truth and sincerity.
Not the whole chapter. I just want to go into some key points. But who wants to read?
I can read. No.
Okay, Khan. Yeah, I'm gonna be the one going into it. So the brothers got precepts. Let me know. But yeah, probably won't be too long. But okay, so can you get Nehemiah 9 and start at verse? Let's see. Start at verse 6.
Okay, fine. All right, this is Nehemiah chapter 9, verse 6. So, even thou, our Lord Yahweh Shai alone, thou hast made heaven, the heavens of heaven, with all their hosts, the earth, and all things that are therein, the seas, and all that is therein, and thou preservest them all, and the host of heaven worship thee.
Gone. So when you go into this chapter, they're pretty much giving you a quick rundown of the history from, pretty much how do you say it? Like a summary from when the earth, when the Elohim created the earth. You know what I'm saying, and everything that's inside of it. Because if you because this is a precept to Genesis, the first chapter. How the Lord created. How the angels and Yahweh Shai created the earth. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, keep going.
Verse 7, thou art the Lord Yahweh Shai, the power whose did choose Abram, and broughtest him forth out of Ur of the Chaldees, and gave him the name of Abraham.
Right, because remember, the Lord called Abraham his friend. You know what I'm saying? So he changed his name to Abram and Abraham, and made that covenant between him and his seed. Somebody want to get Genesis 16? I believe you can start from the top. Just real quick, just to touch on that. I think you can start from the very top. Let's see. Is it 16 or 17? I think it's 17. Salaki. Genesis 17. You can start from the top.
Con, I got it, bro. This is can y'all hear me?
Con.
This is Genesis 17 and 1. It says, and when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty God. Walk before me and be thou perfect.
Right. Go ahead. Keep just keep reading. I'll let you know when.
Verse 2, it says, and I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, as for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations.
Right. So when you read that last verse that the brother just read, well, he read it earlier too on verse 2. He says that he was going to make a covenant between him and between the Lord and him, right? And then when you read verse 5, it talks about how he shall be the father of many nations. You know what I'm saying? Because out of Abraham came out Isaac and Ishmael. You know what I'm saying? But the covenant didn't pass through Ishmael. It passed through Isaac. And out of Isaac came out Jacob, which changed his name to Israel, and from Israel came out the 12 tribes. Those are those many nations that came out of the 12 tribes of Israel. Go ahead.
Keep going on Genesis 17.
Yeah, keep going.
Genesis chapter 17 and verse 5 says, "Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be called Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee."
Right. See, there you go. That's when he changed his name from Abram to Abraham, right? Go ahead, keep going.
Verse 6, it says, "And I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee.
Right, go ahead.
And I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee in their generations, for a everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee and to thy seed after thee."
Right, and then you can in that history, you know, that history right there is going into the times of the kings and you know Samuel, the time of Samuel, Eli, David, you know, Solomon, Rehoboam, all of all of that. You know what I'm saying? That prophecy was fulfilled because you know he said that he was going to make what it say, and I will make nations of thee, and kings and shall come out of thee. You know, and that's true. You know, the 12 tribes of Israel, man. The nation of Israel was established, right? Go ahead, go back to Nehemiah, wherever you left off at.
Con. You want to read verse 7 again?
Yeah, you can read verse 7 again. Yeah.
Okay. Verse 7, thou art the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai, the power who did choose Abram and brought him forth out of Ur of the Chaldees and gave it him the name of Abraham.
Right.
Verse 8. Okay, go ahead. Verse 8, Slaki. And founded his heart faithful before thee, and made his covenant with him to give the land of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Jebusites, and Girgashites, to give it, I say, to his seed, until has performed thy words, for thou art righteous.
See, there you go. That's why I meant when I said like it gives you a summary of from the beginning all the way down. And really, this is if you read up on the little you know the little summary of what this chapter goes into. It says a solemn fast and repentance of the people. The Levites make a religious confession of God's goodness and their wickedness. You know what I'm saying? So he's giving you all these examples right now of all the good things that the Lord has done unto us and why. You know what I'm saying? That's why it gives you it brings up the history with Abraham, you know, and the covenant going being made with him. You know what I'm saying? And now it skips down the verse that the brother just read skips all the way down to the times of Moses and Joshua. You know what I'm saying? When they were taking over the land of all these heathen nations, you know, like the brother just read, the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, that whole land would eventually become what the land of Israel, right? Go ahead, keep going.
God. Verse 9, and did see the affliction of our fathers in Egypt, and heard it their cry by the Red Sea.
Can somebody get Exodus 3 and 7 real quick? I believe that's the one where it says that here, let me check. Let me make sure. Yeah, can somebody grab that real quick?
God. This is Exodus chapter 3, verse 7, and it reads, it says, "Then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter."
Is that that's Exodus 3 and 7?
Yeah. Or Salaki, let me see. Oh, okay. That was 2 and 7. My bad, bro.
No, you did.
This is Exodus 3 and 7. It says, "And the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows."
See, there you go. You know, the Lord, you know, like just like we're doing right now. You know, the Lord is hearing our sighing and crying. You know, and it happened in Egypt as well. like the brother just read, he had heard, or he has surely seen the affliction of my people, and I've heard their cry. You know what I'm saying? So that's why the Lord sent out a Savior, which was Moses, to deliver us from the hands of the Egyptians. You know what I'm saying? So that's another example of what the Lord did, towards our people, or towards us, right? Go ahead. Go back to Nehemiah chapter 9.
All right. I'll read verse 9 again. And did see the affliction of our fathers in Egypt, and heard their cry by the Red Sea. Verse 10, and showed signs and wonders upon Pharaoh and all of his servants, and on all the people of his land. For thou knewest that they dealt proudly against them, so didst thou get thee a name as it is this day.
Yep, go ahead, keep going.
Verse 11, and thou didst divide the sea before them, so that they went through the midst of the sea on the dry land, and their persecutors thou threw into the deeps as a stone into the mighty waters.
Right. Go ahead, keep going.
Verse 12, moreover, thou, what is that, leadest?
Lettuce, yeah, like
lettuce,
leading, yeah.
Lettuce, okay. Them in the day by a cloudy pillar, and in the night by a pillar of fire, to give them light in the way wherein they should go.
Yeah, just keep reading all the way down to verse 16. It's just giving you some examples of all the good things, right? That the Lord, and it's gonna show you why they're giving you these examples, right? Go ahead, because remember, they're this chapter is about them, the Levites, making a religious confession to the Lord. You know what I'm saying, right? Go ahead, keep going.
Verse 13, and thou came down also upon Mount Sinai, and spake with them from heaven, gavest them right judgments and true laws, good statutes and commandments, and madest known unto them thy holy Sabbath, and commandment them precepts, statutes, and laws by the hand of Moses thy servant. Verse 15, and gave them bread from heaven for their hunger, and broughtest forth water for them out of the rock for their thirst, and promised them that they should go in to possess the land which thou hast sworn to give them. Verse 16, but they and our fathers dealt proudly, and hardened their necks, and hearkened not to thy commandments.
Yeah, see, there you go. So that's the history of that wicked generation. You know what I'm saying? That generation is always going to be here, always going to come back and deal proudly against the Lord, man. And you see it today. You know what I'm saying? Throughout the whole world, our people are just garbage human beings. They don't consider the like it says in Jeremiah the 8th chapter, they don't consider the judgment of the Lord. You know, all they know to do is how to do wickedness. You know. Let's see. Yeah, keep going.
Verse 17, and refused to obey, neither were mindful of thy wonders that thou did among them, but hardened their necks, and their rebellion appointed a captain to return to their bondage. For thou art a God, most high, ready to pardon, gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, forsook them not.
Yeah, man. So even though we was being wicked and stiff necked, you know what I'm saying, like the scriptures say, you know what I'm saying, the Most High still showed us mercy. You know what I'm saying? Can somebody get that Numbers 14? Numbers 14. I'll let you know right now. Numbers 14 and 4.
I called it.
All right. Oh, okay. Go ahead, bro.
This is Numbers chapter 14, verse 4. It says, "And they said one to another, Let us make a captain, and let us return unto Egypt."
Yeah, see, there you go, man. You see how they are, man. Like the Lord literally delivered us, showed all these signs and wonders, protected us with that pillar by fire at night and a cloud by day. You know, opened up the sea for us. You know, delivered us out of captivity. You know what I'm saying? Brought down manna from heaven. You know what I'm saying? And did all these miracles and wonders, man. And these people still wanted to go back to Egypt, man. Still want to go back to Esau. Well, you know, at that time it was, you know, these Hamites, but like even today, man, they're quick to run to Esau. What's that one scripture that talks about how they trust in the shadow of a Pharaoh or something like that?
Isaiah 30. Can we get that, bro?
Khan, Babakshah.
This is matter of fact, I think this is what we're talking about. It says Isaiah 31:1. It says, "Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many."
Yeah, man. So they see Esau right now, especially, you know, these Israelite women, man, whether it be from the northern or southern kingdom, man. They trust in the system that Esau has built, you know, that provides them aid, whether it be, you know, like Medicaid or these financial uh you know, these financial ways to for them to get help with money, or whether it be food stamps or, you know, things, welfare and all that, you know, things like that. You know what I'm saying? And they trust in them, man. And then they see and look at Esau's empire as a whole, and they say, and they trust in it, man. You know, everything, you know, yeah, everything that's going on, maybe, you know, Israel's starting to see some, you know, the wickedness of Esau now, but they still, you know, they still gonna align themselves with the system. You know what I'm saying? I think that was it on that.
And
So
just
like you
laying
say,
back, for what you're saying, Brother Kushar. Pretty much, you know what I'm saying, based on how the economy is, you know, people losing their jobs, they still think, you know, in the back of their mind that Esau is gonna bring it back. You know what I'm saying? You know, they think special T gonna, you know, gonna get everything back, you know, to where it was. But, you know, it's not, you know. So, and that's how most of our people mindset is. They just think that you know, Babylon the Great is gonna bounce back, but you know, it's over with. You know?
Con. That was it on I'm sorry, that was it on numbers. Can you go back to Nehemiah?
Yeah, con. Verse 18. Yea, when they had made them a molten calf, and said, This is thy power that brought thee up out of Egypt, and had wrought great provocations. Can we read verse 19?
Oh yeah, keep going, Salak. My bad. Yeah, keep going all the way to verse 22.
Okay. Verse 19. Yet thou in thy manifold mercy forsook them not in wilderness. The pillar of thy cloud departed not from them by day to lead them in the way, neither the pillar of fire by night to show them light and the way wherein they should go. Verse 20. Thou gavest also the good spirit to instruct them, and withheld not thy manna from their mouth, and gave them water for their thirst.
Salak, yeah, I want to make a quick point on this one. You know, cause you know, that's true. You know what I'm saying? The Lord he gave us manna, that heavenly the heavenly bread from the heavens, and he gave us, like I said, he gave us clear instructions on what to do, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I believe the first 6 days, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the first 6 days you're supposed to just eat get what you can eat for that day, and then throw away whatever you're not gonna eat, and you're not supposed to save it to the next day. But I believe on the 6th day, you're supposed to gather enough for that day, and then for the 7th day, where for the Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? Whenever the Sabbath, whatever day the Sabbath fell on. You know what I'm saying? Um, Let me see. You know what? Let's look it up real quick. I want to make sure that's correct. Exodus 16. Let's try that one. Exodus 16 and 15. Let's see if I can find it real quick. So I just want to make sure that I'm not saying nothing wrong. 16 and 15. When the children of Israel saw it, they said one to another, "It is manna," for they wist not what it was. And Moses said unto them, "This is the bread which the Lord had given you to eat." Okay, let's see. And the children of Israel did so and gathered some more, some less. Verse 18, it says, "And when they did meet it with the omer, he had that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating." See, there you go, man. You see how the Lord, helped us out with that, right? Verse 19, and Moses said, "Let no man leave of it till the morning." Okay, so yeah, so they were supposed to eat whatever they gathered. They were supposed to finish it, right? Verse 21, and they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating. And when the sun waxed hot, it melted. And it came to pass that on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for one man. And all the rulers of the congregation came out and told Moses. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's correct. You know what I'm saying? On the 6th day, you were supposed to gather twice as much. Because the 7th day was the Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? I believe, Israel being hard headed. I believe somebody took some more and tried to save some on a day that wasn't the Sabbath. Let me see if it's in the same chapter. Verse 24, and they laid up until the morning, and Moses bathed, and it did not stink, neither was there any worm therein. And Moses said, "Eat that today, for the day for today is the Sabbath unto the Lord. Today ye shall not find it in the field. 6 days ye shall gather it, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none." Verse 27, and it came to pass that there went out some of the people and on the 7th day together, and they found none. You know what I'm saying? See, they probably didn't listen. You know what I'm saying? On the 6th day, they probably only got what they needed. And then on the 7th day, you know what I'm saying, there was none. And they're like, "Oh, shit, let's go look for," you know what I'm saying? Israel, man. Verse 28, and the Lord said to Moses, "How long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws?" See, there you go, man. And it was clear instruction of what they were supposed to do. And they couldn't even, you know what I'm saying? Israel, man, it's fucking hard-headed motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? So verse 28 or verse 29 says, see for that the Lord had given you the Sabbath, therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days, and it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? We're not supposed to, like that dude that got caught picking up sticks on the Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? Like it should be common sense at this point. It should have been common sense. Like, okay, we gotta make sure we got everything you need because tomorrow's the Sabbath or tonight's the Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if it gives Israel there for a minute. And it was like, yeah, I think that's the point on that. Okay, you can go back to Nehemiah.
I got a precept.
Okay, Khan, you got it.
This is Luke 12:15. Yahweh Shah speaking. And he said unto them, "Take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consists not in the abundance of the things which he possessed." So us being the holy people of the Lord, the Heavenly Father, he wanted his people to trust him, after he led them out of Egypt, you see. And, he wanted us to also, our laws and stuff, teach us to be content and not greedy like in this society today. So, that covetousness, of the natural, the carnal man, really, it destroys us. It entices us to go after the possessions of the heathen,
And it really takes us away from who we are when we're not content, and being the people we're supposed to be. You got it.
Con, the water.
I got a precept as well, Baba Kushai.
Okay, Con, you got it.
This is Second Ezra chapter 7. I'm gonna start at 21. I think the points in 22. Baba Kushai, bear with me. It says, "For Yahweh Shemi Shai has given commandment to such as came what they should do to live." So like it says, even as they came and what they should observe to avoid punishment. Going into Jake, just like the notation that you said on going to get enough food for the week, eating that manna, and Jake, what they fucked up towards the end. They either got too much and it went bad, or they got too little and they didn't eat for 2 days. But continuing on to 22, it says, Salakia, nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him, and Salakia, imagine vain things. All right, so they choose to be adverse to Yahweh Shem Yahushai in that time, and even in these times, because our people are like size children. But you got it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Hey, yeah, like you said, sawdust children, they're like little dumb kids, man. Like you ever see a kid at the store and the mom, usually like an Edomite mom or whatever, and they just fucking man, they're just so damn how do you say it, obnoxious. You know what I'm saying? Just like doing, fidgeting and grabbing shit and you know, uh, hey mom, can I grab this? Like no, and they start crying and shit, and they fall on the floor, then throwing their feet around, wailing their arms around and shit, and the mom is just there like just not doing nothing, man. That's Israel, man. That little kid throwing a tantrum on the floor at the supermarket. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't getting their way. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Khan. Anybody else got a preset? Okay, we can go back to that Nehemiah. What verse you in?
I think we on verse 21.
Okay, Khan.
All right, verse 21. Yea, 40 years did thou sustain them in the wilderness, so that they lack nothing. Their clothes wax not old, and their feet swell not.
Yeah, man, and it just mentions those 40 years here, but that's another good history of Israel's wickedness. You know what I'm saying? Because those 40 years walking around in circles was a punishment to get rid of that wicked generation until they all died, man. And once that whole generation died, that new generation was not then allowed to enter into the promised land. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't mention it here, but if you go back to Deuteronomy, I believe it's in Deuteronomy, it goes into that history of why we were in the wilderness for those 40 years. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but the Lord took care of us. You know what I'm saying? What they say? What the brother just read? It say they lack nothing. They closed in age. You know what I'm saying? Their feet. They didn't. Their feet didn't get blisters or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord still took care of us, man. Right? Go ahead, keep going.
Okay, verse 22. More thou gavest them kingdoms and nations, and did divide them into corners, so they possessed the land of Sihon, and the land of the king of Heshbon, and the land of Og, king of Bashan.
Right. Keep reading all the way down to verse 26.
All right. Verse 23, and their children also multiplied thou as the stars of heaven, and brought them into the land concerning which thou hast promised to their fathers, that they should go into possess it. Verse 22, so the children went in and possessed the land, and thou subdued before them the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, and gave them into their hands with their kings and the people of the land, that they might do with them as they would. Verse 25, and they took strong cities and a fat land, and possessed houses full of all goods, wells, dig, vineyards, olive yards, and fruit trees in abundance. So they did eat, and were filled, and became fat, delighted themselves in the great goodness.
Right. See? So like, I just want to make a quick point. Yeah, see, there you go, man. All these things that the Lord did to us, you know what I'm saying? And this is to the history after we got delivered out of Egypt, all the way down to the time of Joshua. And and then like the brother read, we took many strongholds, took strong cities. Just think about Jericho. Just think about all the kingdoms that these other heathen nations had, man. Because it doesn't really go into detail about how big and how big the kingdoms of the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hittites and the Senate. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really go into detail of how I'm pretty sure if you look it up, it'll explain it. But I'm pretty sure they weren't no villages or nothing. I'm pretty sure they had some pretty good fortuitous armies, things like that, man. And the Lord had to be with us in order for us to take it. You know what I'm saying? I believe that 100% the Lord had to be involved in order for us to take these other heathen nations down, man. And it gives you and that's why it's given, this chapter gives reverence to those things that the Lord did to us at that time. You know what I'm saying? Because just like remember King David, for example, before he went up and to fight, he would always ask the prophet of the Lord, "Hey, can we win?" And then the prophet will say, the prophet will tell him, "Khan, the Lord has delivered them into your hand," and then that was confirmation that the Lord was giving him the green light to take them down. That makes sense. But Khan, you got to keep going. Verse 26, right?
Okay, Khan. Nevertheless, they were disobedient and rebelled against thee, and cast thy law behind their back, and slew thy prophets, which testified against them to turn them to thee. And they wrought great provocation.
Yeah, see, there you go. That's another example right there. Nevertheless, they were still disobedient. You know what I'm saying? Can somebody get Jeremiah 8? No, I'm sorry, Jeremiah the second chapter. Jeremiah 2 and let's see. Jeremiah 2. Okay, 2 and 13.
I got you, bro. This is Jeremiah 2 and verse 13. It says, "For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water."
Yeah, man. So, like the brother just read in Nehemiah, they were disobedient. And they rebelled against him. They cast the law behind their backs and slew the prophets, man. And the brother just read Jeremiah 2, saying they had committed two evils, right? forsaken the Lord, which is the fountain of the living waters, and then searched out water that searched out and drank stagnant water. You know what I'm saying? A human amount of sisters that can hold no water. Actually, you know what I'm saying? So they was going off, man. Same thing, same, always the same problem with the nation of Israel, man. Rebelling against the Lord and worshiping other gods, man. Keep going on that, Jeremiah.
Con, this is Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 14. It says, "Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled?"
Yeah, man. So what? Like, is that Israel's purpose for us to just be slaves? You know what I'm saying? Like, no, man. We're not supposed to be in this situation. But here we go again. Israel doing what they do best, going off and being put under subjection, man. You know, like we not. These questions are rhetorical. You know what I'm saying? That is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? You know what I'm saying? These questions are rhetorical because we already know the answer to them, or they don't need an answer because we know why. Right? Go ahead. Oh no, go back to Nehemiah. So go back to Nehemiah.
And if I could add, that's like you were saying, the mindset of our people today, especially coming out of that umbrella of Christianity, whether it's Catholicism or whatever. Because you have our people today will, ask that question. And why are we always going through? Why can our people get ahead? Why are we, we don't have banks, and why are we on the bottom? But as you were speaking, they keep forsaking the prophets. They, even to this day, they'll come against us. Oh, y'all not the Hebrew Israelites, and we don't want to hear that. And it's the same old thing. Israel is doing that same very thing till this very day.
The water. Anybody else got a point they want to make? Okay. Let's go back to Nehemiah. I think I'll just probably get a few more verses in it because you can read the whole chapter. And it gives you all these examples, but we'll just get a few more verses and then we can end class.
Okay, verse 27. Therefore thou delivered them into the hand of their enemies, who vexed them in the time of their trouble, when they cried unto thee, and thou heard them from heaven, and according to thy manifold mercies thou gave them saviors, who saved them out of the hand of their enemies.
Right. See, so there you go. Time and time again, right? Same story, right? They get put into captivity. The Lord delivers them out of the hand of their captors, puts them up in a good situation, right? And what do they do? Go ahead, keep reading.
But after they had rest, they did evil again before thee. Therefore left thou them in the hand of their enemies, so that they had the dominion over them. Yet when they returned and cried unto thee, thou heard them from heaven, and many times did thou deliver them according to thy mercies.
See? Yeah, according to thy mercies, So you see that, man? Just imagine this is one chapter in this whole book. One chapter in the whole history of Israel existing, and how many, and I'm pretty sure it's like an imaginable number of how many times we went off, came back, was good for a season, and then we went off again, man. You know what I'm saying? This chapter, this is pretty much us admitting our faults of all the things that the Lord, all the good things that the Lord did to us, and all the wickedness that we've done, man. As an example of how the Lord has always kept his promise. You know what I'm saying? And not just the promise of us being raised up as a nation, but also promises of what was going to happen to us if we went off, going back to Deuteronomy 28:15 on down. All these curses shall come upon thee. Right? That was the deal, right? That was the covenant that we made with the Lord. Exodus the 24th chapter. All the things that the Lord has said ye shall do. And then what did we say? Because we were all there. You know what I'm saying? We were all there when the covenant was made with the Lord. And what we say? We said all the things that the Lord has said we shall do. And then Moses sprinkled the blood, and that's when we made that spiritual handshake with the Lord, saying that agreeing to the covenant. You know what I'm saying? So it's just amazing that these people don't get it at this point. You know what I mean? Well, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Esau's got them so held up in Christianity or in their own selfish ways to where they never gonna get it. Like it says in Isaiah the 6th. Well, let's get that. We'll get this in Isaiah the 6th chapter, and we'll end it off on that.
I got a precept, but
You got it.
nah. I was gonna go into the verse in that Nehemiah chapter 27 because a precept to that is the Judges chapter 2 verse 14, but I'm gonna start at 13 because Jake went off. All right, and because of Jake going off, Yahweh Shemiah Shai had a judgment for that. All right, I'm just gonna read it. It says, "And they forsook Yahweh Shemiah Shai and served Baal and Ashtoreth, other gods, heathen gods, right? All right, verse 14 it says, "And the anger of Yahweh Shemiah Shai was hot against Israel, and he delivered them into the hands and Slakia, and he delivered them into the hands of spoilers and spoiled them, and he sold them into the hands of their enemies round about, so that they could not any longer stand before their enemies." So Yahweh Shemi Shah was like, "Hey man, if y'all gonna do this shit, well fuck it." Fuck it. Go ahead. Go over there. It's just like that Ezekiel chapter Salakia. I think it's 28 and 25 or something like that. Where Israel was doting about, going to all her many lovers. And how about Shimei Shah was like, okay, bet I'm gonna leave you in their hands. But you got it. Salakia.
So, like, I just wanted to add to this piece. Consequently, that was, died. Because again, that's where the counsel of the Lord presides in, and the prophets. See, so consequently, after Joshua had died, that generation that basically was following the law, statutes, and commandments. The generation afterwards that knew not, as you read, I believe in verse 8, it says they didn't know the ways of the law, statutes, and commandments, and Joshua. So what happened? They went back into evil and wickedness. You see, and likened to today, the men of the Lord are preaching, the counsel of Yahweh Shah, but you're still gonna have 2/3 of our people who are not gonna hearken. But you got it.
Khan, that's a good point. Because that's you got it.
No, when you done. When you finish making it.
Okay, now I'm just gonna make a quick point about like at work, for example. Let's say you got the guy in charge, right, and then you got the guys that are working, right? They always used to say, what I'm saying, like let's say the guy in charge like walked away and had to do something else, like on a different job site. They always used to say, when the cat is away, the mouse come out and play, which pretty much means when the one that's in charge is not there, the workers are just gonna be not doing what they're supposed to be doing, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So that reminds me of that precept you brought out, or that point you made with Joshua, talking about how once he died, then Israel went off, man, because that spiritual, the man that was in charge of showing these people how to do righteousness went away, that's when they started going off.
That's right. That's so like it just made me think about when Jake was young, he would we have a substitute teacher. When the real teacher be out, for sick or whatever, you have a substitute teacher. That's when Jake started acting a fool. That's when Jake be like, oh yeah, we got a substitute teacher. Oh man, we could do whatever we want. Don't even do the work. Don't listen to the substitute teacher and just taking crazy bathroom breaks and stuff, trying to skip school. So that's the same thing. Jake goes off when when the law, statute, and commandments are not fully instructed. That's when Jake acted fool. But you got it.
Con. You got a precept? You got a precept?
I got a precept, if I may.
I think Salak, I think Ariel had a precept.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Well, I had a point that I was going to make with Genesis, the 49th chapter, it's because Israel, Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. Remember, he prophesied, these conditions that his sons were going to be in. Showing you that we need Yahweh Shah because in verse 10, which I'm about to get right here, just goes to show you that we are these people of the Bible. As you was going into Deuteronomy, the curses and all of that, but this was before Genesis 49:10, and it reads, I'm going to read it in the NLT. It reads, the scepter will not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from his descendants, until the coming of the one to whom it belongs, the one whom all, where it goes into the gathering of the people, be the nations will honor. We know those are the nations of Israel, because we was going to be scattered. But these things were prophesied, that we was going to be in these conditions, and it just sometimes it's just hard to believe that people can't get that, see that as far as Israel, although you teaching that how we going off when people aren't around, and that's what we been doing, numerous times, whether we're being led. You go in the book of Judges, they keep getting kings and kings over and over again, and they keep going off over and over. But these things were prophesied, and that was just the point.
Con, you had a precept?
Yeah, Psalms 106, verse 40. And if I may, I just want to read to 43. It says, therefore was the wrath of the Lord kindled against his people, insomuch that he abhorred his own inheritance, and he gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they that hated them ruled over them. Their enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hand. Many times did he deliver them, but they provoked him with their counsel and were brought low for their iniquity. So spiritually, man, our people are brought low. And a brother mentioned something about, just our people at your job, man, even, Jakes that may be older in age, just simple, can't really follow simple instructions, man, just rebelling. Like you may be in a leadership position, but, they don't even have respect for really just their own people rules, man. I'm in a leadership position at my job, and just the lack of respect, man. Even when you respect them, our people still rebellious. Just a personal experience, but yeah, spiritually, our people are brought low, man. And we have to be grateful for being in this truth, being awakened and quickened in the spirit. To be at a mature state, man. I got it.
Con, yeah, the water. Yeah, that's right. Because ultimately this all leads to the reason of why the Lord forsook us and put us away, and ultimately why Yahweh Shai had to step in and pretty much die for the sins of the nation of Israel. You know what I'm saying? And that's the main point, as too. You know what I'm saying? We can see this is all proof of why, of the Lord justifying himself for why he was done with us. You know what I'm saying? We constantly breaking the contract, you know what I mean? What does Esau do when you break the contract, man? He lets you go, right? So, if any of your brother don't got a precept or any point, we can end it off right there.
Yeah, I got one more. This is John chapter 4 and verse 44. It reads, "For Yahushua himself testified that a prophet had no honor in his own country." And then just backing up the brother bringing it out with his job, how people don't have no regard for each other when we're in leadership. So whether, you're in the faith with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, or, just period. If you are elderly, we just have no regards for our own people, man. But those are the curses too, having that evil eye, towards your brother.
Con, that's right.
If I may add to, I got a scripture, if I may.
Con, you got it.
This is Isaiah 1 and 4. It said, "A sinful nation, a people that's laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters." So our people are corrupters, man. Corrupting the ways of Yahweh Bashima Shah with what sin? Like it just said, they are a seed of evildoers. It says, "They have forsaken Yahweh. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger." They are going way backwards. Our people are going away backwards. They rejected the ways of Yahweh Bashima Shah and followed the wicked. They really chose an alliance with the wicked. So this Zechariah 13 and 8 can't come no quicker, because our people need a changing, like another ass whooping, so to speak. Excuse my language. Our people is just bad children.
Facts, bro. Facts, man. Damn. I got a precept.
Con, you got it.
This is and just concerning what you were talking about. This is Baruch, 2nd chapter. Start at 28, but the point is in 30. All right, just going to show you that, ultimately, as we know that they were ordained, there were a certain number of us that were ordained to go off, but that does negate the wickedness that Jacob has done. All right, goes on to say, Slakia. "As thou spokest by the servant Moses in the day when thou didst command them to write the law before the children of Israel, saying, If ye will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations where I scattered them." And that's what happened ultimately, breaking the covenant, being disobedient time and time again. The Lord has put down many nations. He put down many kings, all for his woman, but Jay continues to go off and continues to be wicked. Goes on to say here, and here's the point, that's why the elect are so important. "For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivity they shall remember themselves." And that's what's happening, because at the end of the day, as we talk about history, the things that Jacobs went through, and these things are very, very important to know concerning our history, but at the end of the day, it all boils down to that remnant, right? That small cluster of the grape that's going to return, that's going to be obedient, that's going to listen to Yahushua, all right, being that example. That's really what it all boils down to. This is the reason why the Lord is coming back ultimately, to gather or redeem, show salvation unto that small number, man. Those that were ordained to be obedient in the very beginning, separating us from the rest of the nations, as well as the wicked Israelites of 2/3,
Con, that's right. The water for that.
I got a precept.
Con, you got it.
This is Isaiah chapter 65, verse 12. "Therefore will I number you to the sword, ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, you did not answer. When I spake, you did not hear. But did evil before my eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not." So, that's our people, you know what I'm saying? They stiff-hearted, people, pretty much. And brothers, like I was giving examples, when you're in leadership of a job, they won't do what you say do, but when it comes to Esau, they'll pretty much do whatever he say do. You know what I'm saying? They'll kiss his ass. You know what I'm saying? They'll just bend over backwards, and that's our people. But our people, like I say, if they don't want to get in line, which 2/3 of our people are not gonna get in line, they're gonna be slaughtered, and it's coming. Zechariah, 13:8. You know what I'm saying? It's coming where they're gonna wish that they listen. You know, and, we know they're not gonna listen because they hard headed and in different captivities they've been doing this, over and over and over. And time is running out, and they got this grace period to get themselves together, but they basically refuse to hearken. And that's all I got.
Kind of, if I may add, that's why Howard Shai said when he's talking to the scribes and Pharisees, and ultimately those who represented the wicked, you're of their father, the devil, and the lust of your father you shall do. All right, the reason why Jake is the way he is, just as in the days of old, because those, as you mentioned earlier, Yaquab, the lesson, those same spirits, those same people are back here today. They have the vibration of Esau on them. They are of Esau in a sense. All right, so that's why, as frustrated as we get at times, we understand the truth. We have the answers and knowing why. It doesn't negate their wickedness, but just to say they're on the vibration and frequency of Esau, and that's just what it is.
Khan, yeah, that's right, man. It's like they've been spiritually marked to be in that state too, like, but yeah, you're right. They've absorbed the mannerisms of Esau. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like it's almost like it's engraved in them. You know what I mean?
Right. As that's why he said the lust you're of your father, because what is a father's job? All right, is to instill his values, his morals, and all those things into his children. Right, and so that's pretty much what the 2/3 of our people have. They taken on the values, morals, or lack thereof of their father. Esau Edom, aka Satan. So that was just a heavy point, a heavy statement that Yahushua made, and I just want to point that out.
Yeah, and that's why they're gonna take that MOTD, that RFID help, because it showed you in 2020 with that juice. That everybody wanted to get back out in the world and play, and continue to be wicked. So they was willing to, sacrifice their bodies, man.
And like the brother was talking about, but really we taught Esau how to be wicked. Jake, whenever Jake brought Esau out of the Caucasus Mountains, Jake taught Esau how to be wicked. And it's funny because now in these times, Esau is pushing back that same information back on the people, how to be wicked, how to transgress. But you got it.
Khan. That's right. Yeah, that's right. The water for the precepts. Anybody else want to make a point? I got a precept.
I got one more precept, if I may.
Khan, you got it.
This is Lamentations 4:17. It says, "As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help." And what's that vain help? Esau Edom. It's like false hope. Our people is looking to a nation that can't do shit for them. It says, "In our watching, we have watched for a nation that cannot save us." And our people is about to witness that. They trusting in this alliance. They're thinking that Esau Edom can save them and protect them and keep them from danger, which they gonna be part on their face, man. Yahweh Shai is gonna show them, like, you should have put your trust in me. They looking for Esau Edom like he's a savior. Esau Edom can't do shit for us.
Yep, that's right. They trusted in they trusted in Pharaoh. You know what I mean?
This last precept, Salaki. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 11 and 12.
Yep.
It says, "And they that have loathed my law, while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. The same must know it after death by pain." So like Priest Yazbala was going into, 2/3 of our people have the same spirit and the same mind of Esau. So call all Yahweh Bashim Shah that the truth, the scriptures gives us comfort by knowing that bloodshed is prophesied, man. There's no way that our 2/3 of our people are gonna come out of that type of wickedness. So we draw comfort in knowing that that's their own that's their own purpose, man. To basically be destroyed on this side so they can come back in the right spirit in the kingdom. But you got it.
Con, yep, that's right. I mean, that's their ultimately they're gonna be their fate. It has to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like it says in Isaiah the first chapter. You know what I'm saying? The whole head is sick. The body has got putrefying sores and all that, all kinds of diseases. So it's gotta be burnt, man. You gotta get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? So if any brother got a precept or a point they want to make, okay. So yeah, Con, Lord willing, it was edifying, and yeah, that's class.
Beautiful lesson.
God, the water for edification, the water for all you brothers.
The water brothers.
The water.
Water with precepts.
The water of Shalom.
Yeah, Bashim Shai, Bashim Kadash, Bakatham.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.